I'm simply saying a run like this should be unlimited run energy. From the fairy ring to TOA, what is the actual harm in the game running right now from that fairy ring to TOA? I mean, I don't run out of run anyway, but runs like this, it's not Ironman cope. It's main cope too, because you save money as a main, right? Like, I'm just running to TOA. Why? What's the harm in just having unlimited run if you're doing a bigger run than this even? There's no drawback. Jagex is back with the run energy changes with an open beta number 2, which we tested last time they did this. And I wasn't happy with the way that they were adjusting run energy changes initially, because I believe it made endgame PVMing worse, technically, on paper. Like, your run was actually draining faster, and they were changing the way that run regens, which is a joke, because there's only a very small portion of the game where you actually are actively waiting for your run to regen. So it just seems like a very insignificant change, but that's if I remember it correctly. We'll look through the blog now, and we'll see what they've got here before we check the beta, if we feel like we need to test the beta. So they've got an update here from about 5 minutes ago. They've updated the blog copy for the formula for regen. We'd initially include a reference to a 1.3 multiplier to simulate graceful. This is included in error and has been removed, but the graphs shown are correct and reflect the formulae accurately. Alright, cool. Additionally, we're aware of reports that RuneLite is crashing when trying to load beta world to investigate. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so we might not even be able to do beta world anyway. Earlier this year, we shared the first irritation of the run energy changes. Also, loads of you left valuable feedback and even started suggesting formulae of your own to try and steer us in a better direction for these changes. We ran the numbers on a bunch of your suggestions. Run energy changes round 2. One thing to keep in mind is that we're still working towards the same goals as before. Improve the experience for new players so that old school feels less sluggish in the early stages. Improve the value proposition for agility levels so that leveling the skill feels impactful in more scenarios. Consider the impact of these changes on activities where managing run energy is a means of skill expression or warrants resource usage, such as Blast Fender's Great Olm or various Gobble's dungeon methods, of course. We know this last one wasn't overly popular with some players, but it still feels like there's a sweet spot where optimizing your movement, potentially allowing you an extra inventory space, does feel rewarding and give more players avenues to improve their gameplay. We're not going to go back over all the levers that we could be pulling here. That's old news. And now you can check out the original blog, don't care. Alright. Okay. The numbers, Jagex, what do they mean? Sure. We'll start with the summary before diving deep into the maths. If you're in a rush, though, here's the key points. Okay. Energy regeneration has been drastically improved across the board. Energy regeneration actually gives little to no value, because once you're at the point that you can start stealing strange fruit, making your own super energy potions, have the restore pool in your house. No, even better. As soon as you have rings of dueling and you can teleport to the Frogs Enclave and restore your run energy at the pool, which you can do at a very early level, it doesn't really matter how well run energy is. You will go to the pool and restore your run energy because it's just a faster fucking method between trips. Like between quest steps, dueling ring to the pool and move on. It's just better, right? Because running out of run energy is a fucking problem and it sucks. Energy drain is buffed in most scenarios. Leveling your agility will allow you to run for longer. That's good. In scenarios where run energy drains more quickly, the increased regeneration should vastly outweigh the increased drain. I'm under the impression that run energy doesn't regen while you're running. Am I correct when I say that? So, run regen doesn't matter. No one's gonna fucking stand there and wait. Or walk. Like, people hate fucking walking. At level 54 agility and beyond, energy drain is always slower with the new proposal than in the current behavior at the maximum weight. That's pretty good. That's very good. There's a ring that restores run energy. I forgot the name of it. Ring of stamina. At lower weights, the breakpoint for always better occurs at much lower agility levels, and the reduction in energy rate is more drastic. Okay. What matters more than anything is how stuff feels. It's really easy to get a sense of one part or another in a vacuum, but can be tough to get a sense of how changes to energy regeneration and drain work alongside others in most scenarios, where downtime at the bank or interacting with some objects or walking can drastically change the way your run energy moves up and down. Understandable. On top of this, we're looking to leave graceful as is for now, so you'll get some weight reduction and further increased run energy restoration. Ring of Endurance should result in your energy drain being slower, and stamina potions continue to reduce your run energy drain by the same amount that they do now. Okay. So, behind the scenes, run energy scales between 0 and 10,000, which means that level 1 agility, your regen rate is 1, 6 plus 8, which gives you a regen rate of 8 per tick. Right, so 8 out of 10,000, I see. That makes more sense now. To regenerate from 0 to 100 would take 1250 game ticks, or 12.5 minutes. Alright. The proposed formula you'll be trying in the beta looks like this. Okay? There's a few things that are going on here. 15 at the end primarily serves to aid new players by providing the base rate of regeneration before you start racking up agility levels, and is actually a little higher than what Cheesy proposed. You'll also notice that the agility level is only divided by 3 rather than 6. This is a buff at the higher levels, but primarily intended to have you hitting breakpoints more reliably rather than losing out due to our rounding. So before we go any further, can we just all agree that this is a band-aid fix, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but running out of run energy is what people fucking hate. There is no benefit to running out of run energy other than just to make the player suffer. So why not just have it unlimited like in leagues, which is the highlight of everyone's experience in leagues. Not a single bad thing comes from it. Every time leagues comes around, people want that in the main game. Why even have it drain outside of combat and outside of events? Like, it's just annoying. You're making it less annoying, but it's still fucking annoying. It's 2 AP. How the fuck is it 2 AP? All you're doing is running on the map. As soon as you enter Cox, it doesn't matter. As soon as you enter Gobble's Dungeon, it doesn't matter because your run starts draining because you're in combat. You're in an instance. Right? And people will argue, what about agility? Agility is fucking useless. People don't level agility now for run energy. Agility is for 2 things. Okay? Shortcuts and quest/diary requirements. That is it. So, like, why are we pretending like we're leveling agility for a run energy regen when we're fucking not? It's not happening. Why even have health? It's just annoying to die. Health goes down when you're in combat, right? But it doesn't go down when you're walking around. Health is something you manage when you're playing the game to a level of some sort of skill. Walking from fucking Lumbridge to Varrock is just fucking annoying. Why not have that run? I would change rates for a lot of skilling content. They don't want to deal with balancing that. It just makes no sense to try and pussyfoot around a very easy solution that I guarantee the majority of the playbase would vote yes on. It would make the game better. The game would objectively be better if it was unlimited run. I don't like the idea of infinite run energy. Having to manage weight, run energy as a mechanic, I don't mind dealing with. You still deal with that inside raids. But is it really a mechanic you want to be dealing with from running from Konar to the top floor of the Karl and Slayer dungeon? You run out of run energy because you got your cannon on you. That's fucking stupid. How is that something? Is that really what you want? Like, you think that really makes that's a staple in the game? It would be infinitely better if you could just go from Konar with your cannon into the dungeon to the top floor to the Hellhounds, put the cannon down, and not have to worry about the run energy. The game is just better now, right? But if you go to Chambers of Xeric, run energy is behaving as it does now, where it's something you have to manage and something you have to be mindful of, and you can bank items to have less weight to make run energy more part of the puzzle, right? You have to manage it in Ulm because you're constantly running. So you still have that aspect there for PVM, but if you're going to go cannon shit, then why the fuck does it matter? Never leveled agility beyond what was necessary. Most people haven't. So that's my point. Like, do you not agree with that? Do you not think that that's reasonable? It won't affect the cost of standard potions because you're still fucking using it. You're still using it where you'll be using it, which is raids. Need to make a buffer of Graceful. Just make Graceful what they were going to say last blog, which was to increase the rate of Marks of the Grace. That way you get more staminas, which is good. Strictly a buff across the board, but should feel much more significant in the early stages of the game, which is where many of the common complaints of run energy where run energy lies. Yes, but early stages of the game is implying, yeah, okay, you're still fucking running out of run energy, which means the early stages of the game is still going to suffer from the complaint, right? Just a little less often. I don't mind managing run energy throughout the whole game. It feels more realistic and immersive than just being able to sprint forever, and that's sometimes something I care about. Okay, I get it. Is it going to kill the game for you if it's unlimited run? Do you not feel like that? Do you not? Is that going to make it worse for you? I don't know. I don't think run energy is really that deep when you're just running from bank to bank. If you're doing a clue scroll, is one thing on your mind. It's like, fuck, I've got to make sure I manage my run energy here properly. You're carrying diary gear anyway. Like, do you feel like it's really that's what's really making the clue scroll experience what you want? I would certainly still enjoy the game for unlimited run energy. How often do you teleport to your player in house to drink from your potion, drink from your pool to restore your run energy between trips? So I'm not super passionate about one way or the other? Of course. I just think that they're wasting their time trying to like half-ass the fucking fix here when they have the fix in the game. To give us a rest option to sit at bonfires like we have in RS3, what's the point? Why would you use that when you have staminas? Why would you use that when you have your player in house pool to just drink from? Out of all things to care about in the game, it's a bit of a weird one too. Yeah, it is. They need to fix the agility cape, they need to fix all the skill capes. For early accounts that doesn't have access to stam, so who cares if they don't have access to stam? As soon as they get hit by a drainer guard running through the drainer prison, their run energy starts draining. If they've got to run through the Fairy Tale Part 1 cave where they're getting hit, oh no, you don't get hit till you leave, do you? So you might be alright through there. Like, is it really bad if early level accounts have unlimited run? Or is it more of a you suffered so I should suffer? Then they feel if they give us unlimited run, agility will become the most useless skill. The thing is, that's what some people have been saying on Twitter, but the reality is, agility is already useless and no one levels agility for the run energy restore. Because the run energy restore is useless. Because you have pulls, because you have staminas, and because it doesn't regen while you're running. So why the fuck why are we pretending like agility level is what we level for run when we fucking don't? We absolutely know we don't. Not a single person goes, yeah, the run restore is good. It's noticeable, but it wouldn't even matter if it was unlimited. Like, who would give a fuck? When run energy actually matters, it doesn't. Right? The current, what's this here? The energy drain. It should? I don't think it should. I don't think it fucking matter. It can still affect the run regen and drain rates if they want. But they can make it, you know, it can affect it and still be unlimited. Because when you're in the blast furnace and banking, it can then be a factor then, right? Settled always gets suited agility for run energy breakpoint on new accounts. Okay. And then Settled locks himself to some dumbass piece of content. And does what? Farms fucking watermelons. Energy regen rate is the main reason I train agility in the early game. And what level agility do you get that to? If there was no need to train agility in the early game because of for the run energy regen, would you not train it then? You'd still go to 70 because you need that for Song of the Elves, right? So it's not going to kill agility. You're still going to go for full graceful. You're still going to go to 70 for Song of the Elves. Like it's not going to make a difference. This is just like over engineering a problem and getting a worse solution. In Tazl, unlimited, but if in combat area, agility works as normal, probably the best way to do it, in my opinion. That's what I've been saying. What if energy lasts exponentially longer the higher your agility level was? That's what they're doing with this too. And you can have that with unlimited run outside of combat. You can still do that. The argument's just subjective. Well, it's subjective, but I think people are just like delusional about why they level agility. Graceful would be pretty much worthless if you make run energy unlimited. Graceful's worthless fucking now. What are you talking about? How often are you wearing Graceful and glad for the run? Graceful doesn't recharge your run energy faster if you're running. Because your run doesn't regen when you're running. Graceful is already, like, literally worthless. Unless you're carrying heaps of shit on you. Which you would still do. Most people wear Graceful because it looks good. All my farm runs, you don't need to wear Graceful for your farm runs, mate. You know, if you do farms without Graceful, you won't run out of run energy. Graceful and Blast Furnace. Blast Furnace is where run energy would still drain if it was unlimited. So, perfect. Underground Pass would be so nice of unlimited run. It would be. Farm runs, questing clues. 3 things that could be done with unlimited run energy, and also Graceful doesn't matter. Are you teleporting to your player in house at all during farm runs, questing, or clues? If you are, then it doesn't matter. You've got your pool there to restore your run. But graceful by definition is a pretty useless fucking effect. Because it doesn't regen while you're running. So it's like, and you're running a lot. You're not spending a whole lot of time walking because you'll probably just use a stamina potion or drink from a well to keep your run up, which makes graceful even more useless. The only time it's actually working is while you're picking herbs or you're standing still fighting the Saradomin wizard. That's the only time graceful is actively using its effect to help your run energy. A lot of people don't realize that. I don't tell it to my house to restore run generally because I don't need to when I'm full graceful. I have stamina pot. So that's exactly my point. The graceful doesn't make a difference, and you're using stamina pot anyway, which makes graceful even more irrelevant because the stamina pot is restoring your run when graceful doesn't affect your run restore because you're running. Do you understand what I'm saying now? You're using a stamina pot, sorry, literally makes the graceful useless. All the graceful's doing is lowering your weight. That's it, which will help with your run depletion, but the stamina is going to do that anyway. Graceful Death helps. Graceful restores run energy faster. Run energy doesn't restore while you're running. Therefore, graceful doesn't do anything while you're running. Therefore, graceful useless. Does that make sense? Do I need to draw a fucking diagram? I don't understand how do you not understand that? Maybe they're afraid to crash Ring of Endurance. Stamina potions on farm runs are not the backbone of the stamina potion economy. Pre-potting, Chambers of Xeric, Blast Furnace, Wilderness, content like that is what keeps staminas in motion, and that would all still drain run energy and require staminas. Therefore, it won't be a problem. There are certain instances where wearing full graceful gives me an extra 20 seconds of running, which is significant. That's for the weight reduction. Yes, I get that. And if you have a stamina, it completely removes that. And in what instances is that happening, more or less? 20 seconds of running? Could you, like, is 20 seconds really that big of a deal that you feel like you could just have unlimited run and it wouldn't matter? What about questing? What sort of questing would you say you'd want, what, you think questing is going to be worse or better with unlimited run? Do you want questing to be better or worse? If it's better with unlimited run, is that a problem? I have Xerix for Glade, Frankenstein, Troll Stronghold, Catherby, and Weast teleports to my house for farm runs where my stand pull is graceless, fucking useless. Sell back the marks of grace. Exactly right. That's literally what I do. I go to my player in house. Look at this. I mean, to be fair, I only do 3 patches at the moment because I'm lazy. But you go to your player in house. You've got all the teleports you need. I've got the Weast and Stronghold teleports. I've got the Glade stuff there. All of my jewelry there. And just always drink from the pool. Really strong to do infinite run outside combat. However, if they keep current mechanic while in combat and made divine stams to regen over time, even while running, it would be pretty balanced, I think. I think making it unlimited outside of combat has 0 negative effects on the game. 20 seconds is a big deal to women for some reason. It is, apparently. Yeah, you're right. All speed runs are going to be ruined. Quest runs will be ruined. It's killing someone else's grind. I don't think they would do it for that reason. They won't do it for a minority, then it's an L development move. That's reality. It's an L development move. I don't find this current system particularly hard to cope with using the tools available to me. No, I agree. I don't find the current system bad either. Torvis, I'm with you on that. I don't think the current system is bad. Well, I'm sorry. I don't find it difficult, should I say? It's always bad because it's just a shit system. But my point is they're making these changes, and they're on a second dev run now. When there's a way easier and obvious answer, that is just a better outcome for the game, in my opinion, which is make it unlimited. Right? Once you pass the early mid game, once you have Rings of Dueling, all of this becomes irrelevant because you can just drink from the pool in Ferox Enclave and we're good. So this whole system is just JMods coping for some dumb reason. That you could still the regen the run, what's it called? Not run regen, what's the other one? Degen? Run drain. Rework is huge no matter what happens because when you're actually using running combat, if that drains slower, that's massive. I think if I'm standing still, the regen should be way faster, to be honest. Yeah, that'd be great. But what if you didn't ever have to stand still and have faster regen because it was always full? How is that not better? Right? Isn't it better to just never have to worry about regen unless you were doing content that required running as an actual, like, core mechanic? Isn't that better than having to wait for regen in general? If it were me, I would make agility have bigger benefit to run energy and leave it at that. Yeah, no, of course, you could do that. You could do that. But no matter what, people will still go to 70 and 85 and then leave it because that's enough. So it's still a dead skill past 85 unless you want to max. So I don't think it really matters. Could they just want it like this for some new design in the future? No. No, they're just trying to rework it. Let's have a look at these graphs here. What goes up must come down. Naturally, the value for regenerative run energy is that you have more to use up. Let's look at what we're changing here. Okay, since your agility level and weight both factor into this, we'll show the comparisons on the table rather than the text, okay? Your current is 67 weight, whatever. Okay, yeah, whatever. We'll look at the graph. The base drain rate has reduced very slightly from 67 to 65. We're scaling a little more heavily with weight, but we've got another element that's reducing your drain rate as your agility level scales up. This is great no matter what, like even with or without an unlimited run. This is massive, right? To contextualize this, at the maximum weight at 64 kilograms, an agility level of 54 or above would result in a slower drain rate than current behavior. All the way down to level 1, at 64, your energy will drain about 15% quicker than it currently does, which you're almost never at that weight, unless you're free to play, which will be offset by the vastly increased regen rate. Provided, but, you know, only when you're not running. At 99 agility, your run energy should drain around 13% slower than it currently does. Difference should feel even larger at low weights, since the multiplier we're using is bigger. Alright, that's good. Naturally, there's a lot going on here. Alright, so let's have a look. Old drain rate is there. The new drain rate at 1 agility is worse. The new drain rate at 50 agility is the same, and the new drain rate at 99 agility is better, right? Energy lost per tick. At 64 kilos, you're losing half, not even that, 0.3 of a barely anything less, right? 13% they say, that looks about right, sure. And then the drain, that's for drain rate versus weight, and what's this? This graph shows drain rate energy loss per tick versus agility level, comparing our proposed formula at various weights to the existing behavior. So orange is old and new at 0 kilos. Okay. Green is old and new at 32 kilos. And blue is old and new at 64 kilos. Okay, so it's just effectively better. Think about adding more shortcuts past 75 to make it more enticing. I don't give a fuck. Like, if shortcuts are only useful if they're in the way, if they actually make things like faster. But like, what sort of shortcuts would you want to add? Most of the time, you just teleport to places anyway. Like, shortcuts become pretty irrelevant beyond like the Hydra shortcut, right? Most of the time, they just give us teleport scroll straight to the boss now. Problem with making it unlimited outside of combat, people will just complain that it's not unlimited in combat. Okay, but there's a reason for it to be not unlimited in combat. Worrying about people complaining about it is not really like... That's not a good reason to lock yourself out of designing or improving a system. Because people are going to complain about it not being unlimited with this. I'm complaining about it not being unlimited. So people are just going to complain and complain until, they just remove it completely? There's a reason for it to stay in combat. There's a good reason for it to stay draining in combat. Why lean into scaling with weight though? Since done for PVM? Well, that's the thing. With the last changes, it was actually worse at higher levels. Scaling with weight is just because they want to make it so that you'd lose more run when you're heavier. Rip Bulwark wielders above 64, def above 64 kilos. 64 kilos is the cap. If you've got 100 kilos on you, it caps at 64 still. I always appreciate weight balance, stamina mechanics in games. Forces me to plan my movement more intentionally, which is fun later for me. Yeah, I agree, Torvis, but not when you're fucking walking from Lumbridge to Artie. Right? But when you're doing bandos and you're doing 7-0 bandos, yeah, it's a bit more, there's a bit more going to it, right? That actually, you're trying to stay alive because you're getting your fucking head kicked in. But if you're just running from Lumbridge to Artie, like, it's just fucking annoying. That's all it is, right? Running all the way to Remington, running out of run, it's nothing but fucking annoying. Your plan is to walk part of it because you ran out of run. That's literally your fucking plan. Walk because you ran out of run, because you can't make the run regardless. Let's do top, free 2 standards per raid, agility 10. There you go. State dungeons only have for shortcuts. Yep, shortcut to your mum's house. True. It's actually just the graveyard. Running from Lumbridge to Artie would be annoying, which incentivizes you to unlock teleports, which then removes the argument to want to have run energy to begin with. With being in aggro range of a monster, deactivate unlimited run. Getting attacked by a monster. So, for example, you run through the Drainer Village jail, and the guard attacks you. You're in combat. Your run starts draining. Same system to how you can't log out when you're in combat, right? Same system. And then when you're no longer in combat, your run energy will regen again, back to full health. So when you're doing things like Monkey Madness 1, running through the caves, and you're constantly taking damage, your run energy is still going to drain like normal. You're still going to use staminas in that quest to get through that cave. Otherwise, you're going to run out of run, right? Same thing for Morning's End Part 2 in the Temple of Light. How you're always getting attacked. Your run energy will still drain. You're still going to want staminas, and you're still going to want the Summer Pies to keep your run energy up. Otherwise, you're going to get killed because you're going to run out of run. So those scenarios will never be, won't be affected by having unlimited run because you're in combat. They can also make instances guaranteed to have the run energy enabled to drain. They can change it. They have the technology for it. So why the fuck not? And then when you're running from Gnome Stronghold to wherever the fuck you want to run to, you're just running. Make a mega rare run scroll that gives unlimited run energy. That'd be cool, actually. That's unironically not a bad idea. What about Light Puzzle and Soap? No damage for the hell of a lot of running? Well, then you're saving staminas, aren't you? That's good. Or, because it's an instance, they can make it so that it loses run energy. Because it's an instance. So what? Like, they could do that. That way it keeps staminas in circulation for that quest. Why not? If you specify for instances, then yes, it would work because it's an instance. But running out of run energy is just straight up annoying and bad design no matter who you are. No one likes running out of run, so why force it on players in unnecessary situations? What's up, Mike? How you doing, man? Did they give us the right-click rest option back yet? Nah, they won't do that because we have staminas in the game. We will probably never get rest, which is fine because I don't want to sit there anyway. They should just make it unlimited. Having unlimited run will be more new player friendly at least. Yeah, most people, once they've got the player in house, it won't matter. You're kind of spitting? I'm telling you, this is the fix. The fix is make it unlimited unless you're in instances or places like Cox, Tob, Blast Furnace, ZMI, Herbie, even if you're doing Herbie, right? If you start doing a Herbie run, your run energy starts draining, right? While you've actively got a track going. And if you don't do the next one within like 30 seconds, your run's back on, you know? Hunter Rumors, you think you could do all sorts of shit, right? No one likes running out of prayer or hit points either. You're exactly right. That's true. And if you're not in combat, they don't drain. Plugging over Purple Day? Yes, we are. Make a mega rare scroll so you never run out of prayer? True. Running out of money is annoying. Give me unlimited GP. Yeah, fair enough. If they do that, doesn't that crash the staminas anyway? No, it won't crash the staminas. How many staminas are being used running around from Varrock to Lumbridge? Players that early in the game probably don't have staminas. Right? Quad bikes went? There you go, get cars. Staminas are primarily used, almost exclusively, in Cox, Tob, Blast Furnace, ZMI, Herbie, and then Hunter Rumors apparently for early game questing. Early game questing, Priest in Peril, guess what? You don't need a stamina anymore. You don't have stamina at that point anyway. You're fucking walking. So it's not really a question. Hunter Rumors, I don't fucking know. I guess so, but most people that do Hunter Rumors, I'd imagine teleport, get the whistle anyway. And brings a dueling, just go to the fucking Prox Enclave and restore your run. So that's my fix. I think that fix is better than anything Jagex has fucking proposed. However, the run drain changes are unironically good too. Even though they're quite small, that actually affects run even when it is being drained. But run regen is a load of horse shit, and people who think leveling agility is going to change, it won't, because you're still going to go to 70 for SOAT, 85 for diaries, and then shut the fuck up. That is it. 100 meters fairy ring, whistle, no stamina is needed. There you go. So that's I think the beta is, I mean, apparently it's still crashing, is not necessary to check out. The numbers make sense. I think they just aren't fucking paying attention. Like, they're just coping. To be honest, I don't know. It's a non-issue at the end of the day. If they don't do it, they don't do it. But it's better to just make it unlimited. It's not even a fucking question. Leagues 5 will come out, and you guys will all turn around and be like, whoa, yeah, unlimited run is so good. It'll happen. Happens every fucking league. This is the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him. God damn. Fuck me. Look at that boy. It's huge.